Alright, kids, welcome back. It is Thursday, May 23rd, and we are live. We do have a special guest joining the show today. He'll be here in just a couple minutes while we get everything settled in here, but I hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I know that I am. I just cut my parents' grass, and now we're back, and let's take a look at some of these markets. Let's see how we're heating up, how we're doing. But this is Bitcoin. Not much has changed. Still in the wedgie wedge. Still hanging out in the wedge. So one can make an argument that we did set a higher low, another higher low. We are on receding volume though. So big moves are upon us. Winter is coming. Right? Winter is coming. Something's coming. So we'll see. We could break down, go low side. But we'll see. I'm still remain unbiased. I don't like the fact that we did break this trend line. This kind of scared me. But you could definitely argue a double bottom. Right? You could definitely argue double bottom here. So one could say, hey, double bottom, maybe we go to the moon, right? The longer and longer we chunk around in this wedge, you know, the bigger I would think the move would be and how violent it's going to be, right? So we'll see. We do have a special guest joining the show today. Like I said, he will be here shortly. And yeah, so sentiment really hasn't changed too much on the corn. One thing I don't necessarily love is that these wicks to the upside that keep getting rejected. If you keep getting rejected long enough, eventually you will see lower prices. So we gotta break it soon, I would think. We gotta either break out or we're gonna break down. You know, we are getting our first tick to the downside, building that bearish, I guess you could say bearish, or I would like to call it hopefully bullish divergence. And we can set, you know, a histogram, and hopefully we can catch ourselves with a little something like this. But nothing yet. That could be all invalidated. So nothing crazy right now. Definitely a now this is interesting. When you take it from here to here, okay, I mean you could potentially be forming a double bottom action, as well as maybe not quite reaching the bottom, and then maybe you see a run to the upside. That could be true. Also going in unison with this oscillator with your RSI, showing that maybe we did do a double bottom. As well as on your Stoke, you could have showed that. You could have showed a double bottom, and maybe you cross up and break out. You're gonna need a lot of momentum to break this wedge. So bottoms usually provide that, but it could be invalidated, right? So don't want to hold too much validity to that yet. But we are about about 70% of the way through this pattern, through this wedge. So something is going to cave eventually. Something is going to go. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep you guys updated as always. And we'll see what happens. Real quick, just wanted to give a shout out on the Discord to Alpac and Kung Fu. You guys, welcome to the family, man. I appreciate you guys showing love. So I appreciate you guys showing up. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for the support, right? You guys pledged, and heck yeah, man, it's good to have you here. So it's a good group of guys, man. It really is a good group of guys. We look forward to hopefully growing with you and helping you grow with your trading journey. And, you know, the Discord's great because while it's great that we can talk on stream, this is the chance where we can get off stream and kind of dive into some thoughts and some ideas and see what happens. So definitely excited to see that. AT&T now accepts Bitcoin as payment for its 100. Okay, we'll see. Heating up for 10K. So that's bullish news. We'll see what happens. Cool. Nice crypto Q. Thanks for showing that, brother man. Yeah, we do have some new people in the family, and I noticed some newer traders. So it comes with time, guys. We'll get you there, right? It will come with time, but if you keep showing up, now is the time to learn. Now is the time to get it together. So very cool. Glad to have you guys here. I do appreciate you guys. I do appreciate the support. And let's get you on track the right way. Cool? All right. I don't want you anymore. Get out of here. All right. Come on. There we go. Okay. Cool. So yeah, like I said, Bitcoin, I mean, this is an engulfing candle, which is nice to see, hopefully. It is a, I guess, lower, right? So this would be a lower high, but right here, it's a higher high. So had some range of support here that we broke down from. We saw a nice bounce off the 21-day moving average, which one could potentially say that this was a wedge, right? Just right here. I'm gonna try to draw this for the peeps. And we're just looking at the blue. So the white would still be the bigger pattern. But if you were to say, hey, just the smaller term pattern, just look at the teal. One could potentially say that this is a smaller wedge, and maybe we can bust out here. Do like the fact that moving averages are chasing, so that's nice. Especially on a 6-hour time frame, the 50's really coming. So that's nice. Hopefully we can get some volume. The volume is gone, absolutely freaking gone. So yeah, we'll see what we can do here. But looks like a move is coming. Whether we go down and we test 73 or 71 and then maybe see a bounce, it could come before then. So volume is tapering. This is not awesome right here, this volume candle. So you'd like to see a little bit more than that, but we'll see. Nothing crazy yet. White line's chasing. Seeing a so we saw the reaction off the 50 there. Okay, nice. So we dipped below the 200, and then we consolidated, and then it ran up again. But again, we got rejected. Freaking tweezer double top right there. Tweezer topped and then got crapped out, and now we're trying to go again. We got to hold above this yellow line. So hopefully we can do that. But hopefully we got a little bit of consolidation here. Another chance for us to kind of, like I said, reset the oscillator and potentially go again. You did get a little divergence, so that showed it on small time frame. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Yep, so that's it for the corn right now. Let's go ahead and shoot over to Ethereum. think I earned myself a beer, by the way. I cut my parents' grass. I think I earned a beer. Oh, yeah, baby. Delicious. Okay. So let's go to a higher time frame here. Let's just go to the daily. And let's see how that's looking. Ew. See, we broke the trend line. Not good. So we said 224 could be a range if we break the trend line. We did fall out of the wedge. Still in love with this golden cross right here, though. So even though short term we might be coming down, maybe even to this yellow box area, or at least 217, maybe 224. I mean, I'm still, like I said, we got in way down here, so this doesn't really affect me that much. Yes, it is tradable. Yes, you could probably sell it and maybe get a better entry point. Or if you're looking for an entry point, I think I would wait a little bit. But we could run off nothing, right? That's how stupid volatile crypto is, especially with this golden cross. I know everybody's kind of thinking bear, but short term, yes. But, I mean, that golden cross on the daily does not have me that concerned. So this is interesting on the 4 hour off no volume. We're seeing that reaction off the 50. Right now, nothing crazy. It's not looking awesome. Okay, that could be So definitely a head and shouldery here on your signal. If you don't know what I mean by that. Boom. So like just like an inverse head and shoulders, we also have a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so H stands for head, S stands for shoulder, shoulder, head and shoulders. Not the shampoo, right? But had a little something going on there. We could potentially be building divergence, yet right now it's just you're in a free fall right here. This right here was your cross where you completed your head and shoulders, and that was a huge indication that you're probably going to see lower prices just off your MACD. I'm going to change the color of this. Right? And then try to retest, and then you crapped out. Didn't even come close, really. And now you're selling off, which means that's why you're building that, you know, I guess, like I like to call it bullish divergence, but it's not been built yet, and it could get invalidated, right? Because if those green ticks go below, if they go below here, then definitely gets invalidated. But as of right now, hopefully, this was our peak, and now we're slowly starting to catch ourselves. So at least on the 1 hour, you're looking a little more bullish with potential a double bottomy situation there. So that's not terrible. This is the big point right here, because we fell out of the wedge, so we gotta hold this 200-day moving average. If we can't hold that, we are screwed. We are definitely coming down. So we have a cross on the Stoke right here, which is turning down. That's not great. Probably gonna see 224. I would like to think we're probably gonna see 224 on ETH. So could be wrong, but that's kind of what I'm looking at. And we will we'll go from there. Yeah. So yeah, that's ETH, man. Nothing really too exciting yet. All right, let's go to Litecoin. Let's get the big three out of the way. Then we'll get into all the other S coins. Where are we at? Here. Ooh, we fell out. Sure did. Okay, well that makes sense. I mean, did see a bounce here, a little recovery, but we told you a move was coming, right? This was a trend line, just like ETH. We fell out, right? And we said, hey, maybe we'll see lower prices on Litecoin. But even with the halvening coming, I'm still not overly stupid bearish, right? I mean, yes, we had the trade set up here to the 50, and then we've sold off since then with the symmetrical triangle, which is inherently neither bullish nor bearish. And we fell out short term. We are seeing a little bit of a reaction at the 200-day moving average with this nice hammer candle coming in here, which would have been your sign for maybe a long entry, but nothing crazy yet. RSI is, it's okay. It's kind of rounding off, kind of flattening. So hopefully we can get a balance here. It does look like a double bottom right here, so that's nice. And if we can get a lower high here, that would be nice for the a higher low here for the RSI. That would be nice. Stokes turned up, but your red's on top of green, and that's never a good sign. So we shall see. So yeah, we gotta hold this 200 here. Gotta hold that white line, kids. To get that bullish divergence that we would be looking for. Okay. Let's go to XRP Nation. So again, just like all the other alts, we've fallen out of the pattern. Broke the trend line here. I mean, you could argue could be here, but volume is tapered off. That's not good. Could see a flag out here and then you bounce. I mean, it could happen. We'd be looking for something like there, trying to catch. But you are kind of grasping straws at that point. Yeah, it got rejected hard by the 50 here. So hopefully we can go sideways for a minute and then retain, but as of right now, definitely looks like we might be selling off a little bit more. Curious how the US tether pair looks to this. Okay, see, now this one looks more bullish to me. Because I would hope to see a reaction here. It'd be nice, especially with volume tapering off. That is a bullish range to reset on your RSI. Stoke crossed over, that's decent. Green still on top of red. See, right here, this isn't good. Right here, you could bounce, but it's such a high risk area because if you don't have divergence yet. So if you don't, you're going to crap out and you're going to sell off even further to those oversold territories. So that's not awesome. Well, I'm about to come back down on this one. Hopefully you're trying to find some support. You did it here. Now you're running, but could be short-lived. So not fully in love right now with XRP. However, if we can maintain and build some bullish divergence here, hopefully we could catch ourselves something to monitor. So I wouldn't trade it right now, but I would definitely be monitoring it. Keep it on a watch list. Okay. Okay. Cool. Bump, 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 bump. I just wanna clear my. I just wanna clear my. Cool. All right. So those are the major ones that we're looking at. So kind of a nothing day in the market, if you ask me. Not really anything too crazy. I mean, there are a couple alts that popped off, but I mean, nothing wild. Yeah, just kind of chilling. Let's go ahead and I know we called that EVX trade yesterday on stream. That was what we called it in the Discord, but let's see where we're at. So why did we get what we got? Well, higher low right here of a smaller pattern. And then this is the bigger wedge, and we were looking for that second anchor point to the top side. So we got there and then we sold off, and now we're getting rejected by the 200-day moving average, but we're still closing above this wedge with oscillators chasing, right? So that's good to see. Right, so maybe we'll see a breakout here of this wedge, but time will tell. We got apex is here. We still have some time, so we could retouch topside, maybe sell off. But that's why we got our entry point so low. That's why we got in down here, right? And now everything else from there is the golden goose, baby. Because now you in profit, right? Because it's way cooler if you get it from down here than if you're trying to fight for up here. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. But I like the fact we broke the wedge. I like the trend strength on that. Let's just real quick go to the daily. See how she's looking. Wedgie, wedge, wedge. We are stuck in you, but hopefully soon we can break you. Go ahead and cut that. Yeah, so a major resistance right here that we're facing. But hopefully we found a double bottom here and we could bounce. That's the goal, but we're still getting rejected topside by the 200. We need this to bounce. If this yellow line crosses below the white, I'm going to start feeling a little bit more bearish. But a perfect wick to that 50, man. Perfect freaking wick off of it. So nice to see that. And then obviously your bullish divergence on the daily time scale. That's never bad to see. especially with your stoke trending up, and trend strength seems to be leveling out and hopefully on the rise. That would be the goal. Yeah. So we shall see. Where is the love? You practice what you preach. Would you turn the other cheek? Father, Father. People got me questioning. Where is the love? Yeah, right now we're getting slapped down. Rejection, right? Huge rejection wick here. But that's the run that we wanted, baby. That was the trade, the short-term trade that we called. So that was nice. I tried to make a video today to explain my trading view setup, but for some reason it's not working. So I'm trying to get that up for you guys ASAP. BTT, you know me. Oops. Oh, come on, baby. Do me right. Don't do me dirty like that. Gosh dang it. BTT. There you go. Where is the love? Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Here we go. So, got close, man. Got close to the 87% target that we tried to shoot our shot on. We got to freaking 18. What else do you even freaking want from us? Already a nice trade. Golden cross on the 4 hour, which is super sexy. Maybe a double bottom ski here with your MACD, and your signal might be ready to cross. Stoke's turning up. That looks pretty decent. So maybe we can get to that top side target. Maybe we eventually will see that target get hit. But we already hit the first target of 16, and now, I mean, 18 was gold, but that's why we got into that 10, 11 sat range. That was the money spot, baby. That's what we wanted, and you're still making money, right? Having a lot of wicks with the 236, so not seeming to get above right now, but hopefully we can, if we can get above it, then we should have a clear run up to 20, and then maybe 23 if we can get up there. That would be awesome. Ooh, okay, that's decent. That's bullish divergence right here with the cross, so that's nice. So yeah, I mean 20 would definitely be the next go around, hopefully. So I like that. That doesn't look that bad. Trend strength looks good. Yeah, I mean, not terrible. Not terrible at all. All right. So let's see what else we can do here. Let's look at some other stuff here. we'll take a look at it. Why not? Hasn't done anything. Okay. So getting to that region, you've tested this low before, so look at that stupid ass stop loss wick right there, man. You could come down and fill it, but if you can get a bounce here, death cross. Ooh, that's not terrible. Okay. Hold up. Ooh, baby, I like that. I like that a lot. Triple MACD, bullish divergence. What? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Boom, boom, boom. Bullish divergence from here to here. Okay. And then also from here to here. Not terrible. Not terrible waves with a little cross action here and here. Trying to regain yourself, trying to actually not be a freaking scrub. Definitely could say that would be the top side. So if you could break this damn thing on a daily time scale, you're showing bullish divergence on lower levels of prices. Like we've talked about the ball up the hill, right? You get, yeah, maybe. So I probably wouldn't say that this swing high is relative anymore. You could, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. So we have 1 and 2. Maybe we can get 3. Interesting. Interesting. So around support. So this would definitely be the next 49 roughly would be it. Okay. Let's get a swing. Shorter term. 49.89. 44.87. Interesting. Let's go to 12 hour. Oh yeah, we definitely bottomed. Cool. Coolio in the gang. 44.87, 49.89. Remember those numbers. Interesting. Clean break. Green going on top of red. Waves looks like it could be a decent setup here, kids. I would be interested in looking at this one a little bit more. Interesting. Especially with the volume come. Could crap out. I mean, obviously all dependent on Bitcoin if it decides to run or anything, but interesting. Could take a minute, but dang, this thing looks like it's been selling off for so long. Maybe we actually see something here. Getting above and then closing above on the 4 hour. That's pretty not the worst thing I've ever seen. A lot of patterns have looked like this. A lot of freaking patterns have looked like this. Clean break of the wedge. Back testing the wedge. First target would be here. 17%, roughly 19. 38, 54. Baby. I tell you what. Don't sleep. Don't sleep on this one. I tell you what, dude, that is interesting. Yeah, don't sleep on waves, kids. Don't sleep on waves. Because if I need to remind you, I will. What else also looked like this? This bad boy right here. And what happened to this bad boy? Had the same freaking looking stupid pattern and psh. Also, what else also looked like this? Oh, that's right, this one. Look at this right here. Looks almost identical. Almost identical to what waves looks like right now. But it ain't cool yet. It's not a Matthew McConaughey yet. It ain't cool, but it could be. And you want to get it before it's cool, right? Interesting. If we can back test here, right? So we break out, we back test, and then we run again. That would be a ideal situation. Those were the days. Interesting. Because, I mean, if you're looking at the 4-hour chart, I mean, I guess you technically could call this a wedge, I guess. Interesting. But shorter term, this looks like your wedge. And it looks like you broke out of it. So that is interesting. That's really got my attention, kids. That would be interesting to see what happens here. Nothing to say you can't fall out and freaking fill the stop loss wig, but that would be... Ooh, you're sitting on support right here? I tell you what. Maybe we see a recovery bounce before we crap out more. Volume's starting to maybe pick up. That's not awful. I mean, you're sitting on your support, right? That's always a good area to be looking for bounces. 44, 87, 49, 89. Remember those numbers, kids. All right. Anyways, let's move on. What else we got? What else you kids want to know? Anybody have any questions or coins they want me to look at? Gosh, we're there, man. What is this thing finally going to do something or no? Or is it just going to keep being a scrub? Right here and here. Technically, it's lower, so that's not good. Uh-oh. Are we finally getting it? Are we maybe making some divergence here? That could be nice. That could be nice. That could be a little something potentially. Maybe. I don't like that, but this one's still just kind of on the watch list. Wouldn't really take a position yet. Oh, I do like that though. Well, that's not bad. So, a little bit of divergence here with oscillator support with the signal. Interesting. Interesting. Let's go down to the 12-hour. Let's go 4 or 6. Let's do 6 first. So we broke this one and we ran up, got rejected. Broke this one, ran up, got rejected. What's going to happen if you break this one? Because then there's no more downward sloping resistance, right? Then it's clear skies all the way up to 473, man. All the way up. You would think, one would think, right? If you could. It's not there yet, man. It's not giving me those warm fuzzies yet. All right, well, it's good to know about. That's good. We'll go to it, dude. We'll look at it. I don't know what this thing is doing. Air swap? The hell is air swap? So lowest prices you've ever seen, highest spike of volume you've ever seen. Wow. No divergence was built in though, right? So you got a double bottom kind of right here. But this is definitely kind of a pump and dump situation. Tough asset to play, in my opinion. Would have been tough to call. You know, you got to remember too, there's also over 21,000 projects in rotation. To look at all these assets and all these charts, you're asking one person to do that. That's a lot. You know, I can't look at all these assets, you know. I mean, there's so many bad ones. Like, you don't even know. Like, half of these, show me the earnings reports. Show me where these things make money. Like, BNB makes money. BNB actually serves a purpose. Because BNB on Binance pays your fees. If you use BNB to trade with, 25% of your fees get knocked off. That makes sense. That's a product that actually does something. And look what BNB's done. You know, back when BNB was $10, we were looking at it, and it's freaking to the moon now. It's up to 33 or something stupid. Like, but that project makes sense. It actually is a tunnel for the Binance exchange for if you actually trade on their exchange, you would want to use BNB because it helps you pay your fees. So it costs you less money if you're a trader. That makes sense. AirSwap, I don't know what the hell this thing does, right? I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even tell you where it's at on CoinMarketCap. It's probably not very high because it looks like a low liquidity S coin. So just some things to keep in mind when you are looking at these things. I mean, why the charts can be awesome, you got to remember, dude, some of these projects, most of these projects are going to zero eventually with a handful that are going to make it, right? Like, I think we're looking at an Amazon and a pets.com situation, and you don't want the pets.com. You're trying to find the Amazons, and you're hoping that there's Twitters and Instagrams and Snapchats and a couple others that are in between that, you know. But picking the winners on that is, I mean, it's going to be tough. You know, we got a couple years, I think, but holy cow, what in the hell? All right, so we got a golden cross here. That's decent. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we did get divergence right here on your oscillator, and then you never came back down. Signal never crossed, and then you ran. So, yeah, but it's like, were you even looking at this asset, right? Because that's the thing. It's like, it doesn't matter. The chart could have been all there, but if you weren't looking at the asset, then how the heck would you have caught it? There's just so many of these crap projects out there, dude. But I mean, yeah, that's golden cross potential. So I mean, that's decent. You got it. You're getting it on the 3 hour. So You'd like to see maybe a pullback and then maybe you can run again. But I don't know how you touch this asset at this point. You know, I know it's the biggest gainer of the day, but how do you... I'm not looking into it. You know, it's not something... I could be wrong. Could go for over 100%, you know. Ooh, interesting. So we broke out of the wedge. That's pretty unique. That's pretty nice. Anchor point 1, 2, and 3 at the top, and 1 and 2 at the bottom. Double higher low, I guess. Higher low, higher low. Broke out of the wedge. Now it looks like we might be retesting, but that's not terrible. That's good. Let's go to the daily. Breaking out of this wedge is pretty dang bullish, kids. Flat. But this right here is interesting. Interesting. Nice. Good to see. Good to see. Bullish divergence here, here, and here. That's pretty... I mean, heck yeah, dude. That's what it is. I think we even had a trade set up for AGI. So if you could break it 780 and then 949 with the outside shot of top side of maybe a little over 1,000, but we'll see, man. We will see. Nothing crazy right now, but you gotta love the oscillators, man. They didn't lie to you. Everything as far as a trade setup was there. So you're gonna see a lot of resistance here. Let me get to it. Oops. So we expect to see a lot of resistance at 765-ish, especially as the wedge. It'll be top side of the wedge, and you'll have the 50-day moving average pushing down on you. So that's going to be tough, especially on a daily. But you could wake up. You could wake up to the 758 region, and that would be a nice little trade. Couple like 6 to 7% there. So short term getting rejected. We did reach top side, and then we got slapped back down. Are bouncing here. That's not terrible. Yeah, we'll see. Break the wedge. If you break the wedge, I'm feeling good. Until then, I think you're kind of in no man's land. All right, let's see where we're at. What are we doing here? Another crap candle where we wicked below. They're making us wait. They're freaking making us wait. 4-hour closes in 40 minutes. That's decent. With bearish divergence. Damn. I love that. Short term, right? cross tier, that's not great. Trend strength's coming down, which means that's going to push the price down too. So one could maybe even expect to go back to here, 76 region. Ah, you're making us wait, Corn. You're making us wait. You're really playing this out, aren't you? Can you guys hear the music, or is it loud at all, or is it too loud? If it is, let me know. I can turn it down and turn it up a little bit. We did reach the bottom of this wedge, and we bounced. So, I mean... So you guys are good with this, with the fact that, you know, this was your first point, then you have consolidation, and then higher low, higher low. So I'm going to go ahead and take this away. And I'm going to go ahead and draw. Here. Apex. This is the apex of this wedge. And then obviously you would have an apex of the bigger wedge. So time will tell. They're making us wait, though. They're making me wait. We're going into the weekend, too, so I'm not going to be available on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So I was like, let's go. Let's get that decision now, right? Volume is tapering off, like we talked about. Well, I think Andiamo was going to join me. I don't know. Haven't heard from him. I know he went to dinner. I don't know where he went. We'll see. Either way, we'll continue. So yeah, I've been live for 55 minutes now. If you guys like this video, definitely throw me a like. Make sure you definitely are subscribed as well, and hit that bell if you want to know when I'm going to go live, so that way you guys will always be in tune. Right now we're playing the waiting game. We are at that 200-day moving average, which is typically a pretty hard resistance. So we'll see. We got the bounce already, but again, we bounced back to topside and got rejected again. So nothing really crazy going on here. Especially on lower prices of volume, right? So that's, I mean, a move is coming. Since the volume is receding, a move is going to come, but I mean, especially going into the weekend with weekend volume, we could see a stupid weekend pump, but who freaking knows, dude? It's crypto. It's the wild, wild west out here. Let's try that 30-minute. Let's see how we're doing there. Ooh, so we double topped-ish here. That's okay, though. It's not all bad. Such small time frames, right? Hopefully we can... We're getting to the apex of this wedge. So move's about to happen here. So if we do break down, we're probably coming down to probably here, which is 71 hundo. Right? One would think. You could hit 72 maybe. There's a little bit of support there. But nothing crazy. Kind of a stale day in the market, if you ask me. Not been a whole lot going on. But this is where you find your setups, right? This is where you try to find your setups. And that way before, like I said, when nobody watches, that's when they pump it, right? When nobody cares, and then all of a sudden, here comes the FOMO, right? Oh my God, we're going to 100K, we're going to 200K. It's like, whatever, dude. We no. I'd be happy with 10K, right? So big assets, they take time. I mean, especially going to the upside and downside. You don't just go to zero right away, and you don't go to the moon right away. It takes time. So you guys have any questions? You guys want me to look at any coins for you? Or any questions about oscillators or charts or trend lines or any of the trading view features? Or is everybody good? Bum, 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 okay, so we can extend this out a little bit. We could come down all the way to here. I mean, this is definitely the support, you know, especially because you did this stupid thing where you ran up way too fast, and from here to here, nobody had point to gain value. So this is the only, this was your chop along support, which is why we're holding right here. But when you ran up here and you ran up here, well, then you sold off really quick because there was no point for anybody to gain value, right? However, when you look left, you can see that this box right here, this is a chance, this is support, support, support. So if you break below here, you're gonna have a tough time getting back up, and you're probably coming down to 400, 428 roughly, right? Maybe you come down to the 786 at 560. So you got a move coming. You're getting close on Raven. But again, symmetrical triangles, neither bearish nor bullish inherently. So you're getting to your point, and you're under all your oscillators, all your moving averages. So that's not great. We are getting bullish divergence here, but you're kind of crapping out on your signal. What a freaking shocker, dude. All right, so a little quick tidbit for those that don't understand this. I'd like to do something for you. So here's what happens when you get a symmetrical triangle, right? You usually take the length of the wedge, which is here, and then this would be your breakout. And then, oh, Nikes. And what a shocker. That would be the bottom side. Still going down, making lower highs. It's not good. Or lower. What's that daily looking like? Okay, so what happened is, we'll talk about it real quick. So we impulsed up, and then now we're consolidating down. So maybe you could say that we have something like this. That could be an argument. Yeah, not in love. Still need more confirmation on this one. Yeah, we're in the wedge, man. We're just chilling like a lot of these assets. So a golden cross potentially coming up on that, but your oscillator's super oversold. So even if you do break out, you would expect to retest. I like that V bottom though. It's kind of nice to see. So coming up to the 236. Da, 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 da. Yeah. Whoops. Interesting. That could be a 1272 bounce. Slim, my man. Appreciate it. Yeah, dog. We're trying to be here. I'm trying to be consistent, brother. You guys support us, so I'm trying to support. I'm trying to make it work. You know, I ain't no scrub. I ain't no freaking scrub. I'm trying to show up daily, baby. We here to make it work. So that could be a 1272 bounce. That's interesting. Huh. Keep an eye on that one. What's up, Slim? How you doing, brother, man? How you living today? It's good to see you here. Welcome back to class. Iona. Good, man. Great day out. Yeah. Heck yeah. I just cut my parents' grass and now I'm having a beer. And I'm not mad about it. It's beautiful out. I get to spend all weekend at the track, so that's going to be fun. Get to watch the 500 and Meet some cool people, hang out with the race team, and should be fun. And they did ask me to come to Detroit, so I might go to Detroit with them. Who knows? Okay, well. Huh. Look at that green spike right there. That's interesting. Pretty high spike of volume. What you working on today? I'm working on everything, brother man. Just looking at a few charts right now, trying to get you guys hopefully some setups or some information or teach you something that you didn't know. Outside of that, we just living. I'm supposed to maybe go to a friend for dinner. So I guess that's pretty cool. Outside of that, man, we out here living. What you guys got going on this weekend? What are you doing? Yeah, Andiamo was supposed to be joining me, but I don't know where he went. I know he went to dinner, but he hasn't. I haven't heard back from him. Caribbean Mother's Day. Okay. Is that different than like normal Mother's Day, or is that just like your guys' version of Mother's Day? That's kind of cool. Ooh, rejection. Hopefully we can get a bounce there, though. That would be nice. Do 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 do. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of been a slow day today in the market, so hopefully we can find some setups, but nothing crazy so far. But if you have anything you want me to look at, my dude, or any questions, I'm here for you. You just let me know. For us, it's the last Sunday. Oh, okay. So it's a little different. That's cool. Well, shoot. Go take care of your mother, my man. That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Taking care of mom for Mom Day. I like that. I like that. Bum 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 bum. Ooh, yucky. Can't really make that argument. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one right now. So if there was a recovery bounce, where would you be? Wow. Look at this pump and dump wicks, man. You got it, pimpin'. You got it, brother, man. I got you. I'll drop a little ETH. You want it on Binance? You want it on Coinbase? What exchange you want it on? You let me know. Interesting here for storage. Support here. So definitely a hard resistance here at 3951. But if you can get above that, then you might be in for some higher prices, because that looks like a bottom. Little divergencies. Let's see how that daily's looking. Yeah, just let me know what exchange you want that on, Slim, and I got you, brother. Volume is nowhere to be found, which means that something's about to be found. But that's a death cross. That's not. We tried to get above, and then we wicked back down. Fell below support, but now we're back at it. Binance USDT pair. You got it, brother. Let's go to it. Boom, 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 boom. Ooh, okay. Well, Golden Cross, dude. This is what we're eyeballing here, right? So can't get angry at this, even if short term we sell off just a little bit. This is the money maker right here. Yellow, right here, baby. On the daily time scale, this is what we're looking for. So we're looking for maybe a back test and then a run up to the upside again. Now, you did come down on your oscillator. So you did kind of crap out here, which isn't awesome. It looks like you're probably going to cross here, which means you're probably going to get some green ticks to the downside. So again, that would confirm that maybe we'd be coming down just a little bit, but we could do a bump and run, right? Where we do something like right here, where you dip down below for a second and then you run again. So like this right here was like a double bottom action. But yeah, right here kind of you got to oversold territories and then you crapped out. So let's but you did make a higher high, which was nice. So that was good to see more strength come in. So Stoke turned down. So you need to catch yourself. So definitely in short term, I think we are coming down just a tad bit, brother. I do think we are coming down a little. Maybe we can get a reaction here at the 227 range. 224 was on Coinbase, so HOU the man. How you the man? Dude, you the man, dog. So yeah, probably like to see a reaction here. If we can't get it, then we're probably definitely coming down to here, which would be this box that we were eyeballing. So maybe it chases up a little higher. Maybe it's like 211 or something like that. But short term, this is your big region. This is what we're going to look for, right? You got to have a hold ski here. If you don't hold here, you're 227-ish. Well, then you're coming down. And you're probably coming down to maybe 200. So you're getting that reaction right here on the 4 hour, but your volume is just terrible. Yeah, and see, you're not building any divergence really on the RSI, so that's not making me feel sexy. One thing I wish we could do is potentially build some divergence here, but when you look here, you can see your signal here and here, very similar to the the Coinbase chart. You have a cross and you sold off, you crossed, you sold off, and right now you're kind of in a free fall. So, not awesome. I do like the fact that you're stoked double bottomed right here. That was kind of a nice little thing to see. But if you can't hold, if you don't hold this right freaking here, you probably are coming down. You're probably coming down. 200, maybe it chases up a little higher, 206, but just be careful. Just be careful with that. On the 1 hour, you're already testing that 100-day. I'm sorry, the 200-day. And your RSI is not, I mean, yes, you are getting, I don't love it, man. Maybe we come back down here and double bottom. Unfortunately, it just looks like ETH might be coming down a little bit. Doesn't mean that I'm like perma bull or perma bear on this thing or anything. It's just that I think it needs, you went up way too high, way too fast. So you got to cool down a little bit. And maybe you form a double bottom with this and this. Maybe you can form some kind of, support right here and then run again. But it's not, nothing's guaranteed, right? Because you saw your bounce right here. And if you can get another bounce, then yeah, you can maybe touch topside. But I'm not liking the fact that we're kind of in a free fall right now. And, in 4 hours, we'll see this candle close. So hopefully we can close, right? This doesn't make me feel sexy. Yeah, hold tight on ETH, brother, but if you don't hold here, man, I think you are probably coming down just a tad bit, okay? So that's pretty much it for ETH. We'll keep you updated, but that's where we're at right now. $185. Cool. I rode to 185 to 260. Hell yeah, brother. So yeah, don't sell it for, if you do come down, I would like to see the balance at, so for example, if you're at 185 and you rode it to 260, 260 would have been a cool region, but I still think 300 could be in your future, in a month or so, but maybe sooner, but it could take a while. But if you don't hold here, you are probably coming down. So, don't lose all your gainage, right? Maybe sell a little bit and then rebuy it. Because I do think if you can't hold here, you're probably coming back down to here. Right? Oh, it looks like Andiamo just got back. So let me give him a call and I'll bring him on and we can kind of go over some things. Probably coming down. So, don't lose all your gainage, right? Oh, hey, maybe sell a little bit and then rebuy it. Hey, Andiamo. Will you close that? Will you close the YouTube channel? Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Otherwise, it's gonna have It's gonna have a delay. What's up, brother, man?
Yeah, man. It's all good. I just come back from meetings.
Beautiful.
And sorry about the delay, but it's been it's been a busy day. And good evening to everybody who's from South Africa.
What's up? What's up? Yeah, man, we're going over ETH right now. ETH to the tether pairing for Slim on the Binance chart. And we're kind of trying to figure out where. Does this good, y'all? Well, we're seeing. That was my roommate. We're seeing where we're at right now. So how was your dinner?
Cool.
How was dinner?
It was absolutely fabulous. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely.
Right,
Beautiful.
so let's get down to business. Show me what you're doing.
Yeah, so right now we're looking at Ethereum. Ethereum to the Tether pairing on Binance, and I'm kind of seeing where the next move is. Like, my thoughts are we got to hold this 50-day moving average. So if we don't hold that and don't get a reaction, then I would like to think that we're probably short term, kind of coming down a little bit. Hopefully, maybe testing that 200. What are your thoughts?
Let me just put some moving averages on.
Sure.
Please, just give me 1 sec.
And let me turn on my screen share with you so that way I can pull your screen. Actually, yeah. If you want to go ahead and turn your screen share on with me, I can present that to the people.
All right, just give me 1 second.
Oh, you're fine. Nice, already sold, man. Wanted to find. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you're looking for entry, man, then yeah, we'll see what happens at that 50-day, and if we don't hold, then you know the next entry point. So that's beautiful, dude. Heck yeah.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Let me check the Discord. I cannot see your screen.
Okay, I've done screen sharing here. Share.
Oh, there it is.
Right.
I got you.
Okay.
All right, let me bring you over, and that way.
All right. Cool. I'm running blind, but I can't see the YouTube channel. I can just see my own charts.
That's all good. Let's see if I can't make you just a tad bit bigger. Hey, there we go. All right, the floor is yours, brother man. Go ahead.
Okay, so are we looking at in regards to the move of Ethereum, are you looking at the 12-hour, the daily, the 6-hour? Just bring me up to speed, please, of what you guys have been doing.
Yep, so I went to the daily, kind of talked about a few things. I basically did my analysis of what I thought and how I was looking at it. So now I just would be curious to see what your thoughts are on, I know you're
okay.
Okay, go ahead.
On ETH, on the ETH BTC pairing, I'm exceptionally bullish. But let's have a look at Ethereum USDT. So I'm running blind at the moment, but from what I can see now, the first thing that I'm going to do is to get a top-down picture and viewpoint of what we're looking at. So before I do anything else, I'm probably going to go to the 5-day.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure what technical analysis you've been showing the group and things like that, but first of all, I want to see macro trend before we do anything else. And clearly, as we can see, from that, from around the 22nd of December, we are bullish on USDT pairing. Stochastic RSI is in the overbought region, and that has been there since January, and that's totally normal. So what I'm doing now is just in terms of my analysis as an HTF trader, high time frame trader, I'm always looking at the bigger picture. So excuse me. So clearly, I'm kind of seeing, okay, RSI is getting into the overbought region, which it is. MACD, I'm looking at the histogram, so I go, okay, fine. We have been in a bullish trend since, as you can see there, since December. So that's what I'm looking at. So then, ultimately, what we do, I go, and I'm not putting any moving averages on yet. I'm just having a look and getting a feel for trend. So, for example, if we basically, put on a really basic guideline, we can see there that we are bullish.
Yep.
And we've got some interesting price movement here. All right. So, in regards to the way I do technical analysis, I don't get so deep into TA, but right. So let's have a look. Interesting. So what I've put on is I've got, let's have a look at the moving averages, 2050. Let's put the 100 on for measure. Okay, interesting. So now we're getting kind of a better picture. Obviously, we're in a pullback. First thing that I look at, aside from Elliott wave theory and things like that, now I'm just getting a general kind of picture in terms of stochastic RSI, RSI as well. I can see there that it's just broken the overbought region, which is 67. So that gives us a great clue now in terms of that we are in a pullback regarding ETH. That doesn't mean to say that we're going to go all the way down. So what we do, before I go to 12-hour, things like that, let's put some fib targets on, sorry. And let's have a look. Usually I use the magnet tool, but it takes a bit of time. So roughly what I'm doing is just putting a fib extension on. And now we can see we've bounced and hit the 382. Looking at a lower time frame, bigger picture view. See what I'm doing?
Yeah,
so,
interesting.
Right. So, in terms of, obviously we're in an uptrend, clearly. So that's what I wanted to do from D5. So I'm working down to D3 and now D1. I've got a much better view. Okay, this candlestick today tells me we've been in a pullback. So let's go lower down and see what we have. Okay, confirmation of RSI, which is at 56. The MACD histogram is still ticking down. Let's go to the 6 hour. So I'm really kind of jumping through a lot of time frames just to see a smaller sort of a mini view. Okay, so what is it telling us now? So if we look at the 6 hour, we found support at the 382. Confirmation of finding support at the 382 is that it's also hit the 50 moving average. All right, and so now we are consolidating. So if we look at stochastic RSI, what do we have? We've got, we basically have a sideways movement there, so there's nothing major happening except that if you look very carefully, stochastic RSI has crossed here. Blue is over yellow. So that means that we are slightly bullish. Do we have evidence of bullish divergence? Not that I can see at the moment. You know, if we look, we've got a high here. We don't have honey badger. I don't know if you can see, but we don't have bullish divergence just yet.
Nope, I totally see it. Yep, we don't have it.
So basically, in terms of which way are we going to go? Are we going to go up or are we going to go down? So in my view, on USDT right now, on the 6 hour, on the 12 hour, what I would do is, yes, we can draw, and I know you guys have been waiting for this.
Yep. I like that. I see what you're doing.
See what I'm doing?
Absolutely.
So basically, just very, very basic. I'm drawing a triangle, basic support and resistance. So we've got the support line here. So we've got a symmetrical triangle.
Yep.
So obviously, what does that tell us? So in my mind, okay, we are consolidating right here. Price action has found support at the 382. Now, there's one or two things that what can happen is that price can touch this resistance line, and it doesn't necessarily have to go through. And what constitutes bearish movement is that if price action hits this trend line, the top of the symmetrical triangle, and then it bounces down, there's nothing to stop it. The alternative view is that price action may well go above this symmetrical triangle and retest, and upon retest, then we can certainly take the trade. So for me right now, as I'm looking at this on the 6 hour, in terms of a mini view, I'm going, hold on, I'm not going to take this trade. I'm going to wait for more confirmation. And now that might happen, around about the 24th, 25th of May. So I'm quite willing to wait 1 or 2 days. Now, a lot of people, I found a lot of newbie traders will take this trade entry right here and say, well, why can't I trade the bounce?
Right.
Well, as you can see, price is consolidating. And it compresses as we hit, the edge of the symmetrical triangle. So for me, even from an HTF point of view, I'm certainly going to wait and let this play out. Either we go down, either we retest, we go up, price action goes up, breaks the triangle, retests, and then goes back up.
Totally.
And then we on price discovery again.
Totally.
So in terms of my analysis, just very, very briefly, that's what I would do.
Yeah. And I see the Elliott wave there. I know you didn't count it out, but I do see the Elliott to the symmetrical triangle. And
exactly.
I do like that.
So I don't want to get into Elliott wave theory and draw sort of, too many lines. But that's basically... There's a couple of ways just for traders, I mean, in terms of drawing trend line. So the way I like to do it is, as you can see, most of my charts are very, very minimalistic.
Yet you still kick my ass in trading. Why is that?
So if we draw a trend line, I just want to show you guys. Just very basically, in terms of the basics for newbie traders, it's all about trying to recognize patterns. So what you're looking for is looking for lows and highs, and you're looking for 2 entry points. So one there and one there. Now note that, I mean, your TA doesn't have to be absolutely exact in your trend lines. Another way of doing it is you can certainly draw from that sort of point to here. Nothing stopping you from doing that.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure. Now I would say, I'm just curious. So, I mean, you're basically saying that this is a no trade zone because of there's no divergence on the daily time scale. And then as well as,
correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there's no, here's a prime example of divergence.
Sure.
Yeah. We can all see that.
Yeah, draw that for me, just so everybody else can see too, because I see it, but
yeah. So there's divergence. So in other words, let's just take that off. Let me just make this bigger. So what is divergence? Okay. So there's a classic case of basic divergence. So excuse me. Let me just do that. To neaten it up.
And
okay, got a higher high there, and for example here. There we go. There's your divergence. That's just looking at a couple of places.
Gotcha. So I mean,
divergence. So divergence doesn't necessarily just have to be there. Divergence is here. From there to there, but I will get into this now. So we can spot divergence very, very clearly there. We've got a higher high there, we've got a lower low here, and look at price action, high to the low. Sorry, excuse me, I don't have a mouse on me. Let me just do this. Excuse me, guys. So basically there is your high to your low. Right. So we have divergence here. This should actually be green. The purists would have a field day with me. So, you know, in terms of divergence, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a higher high on RSI. Price action, you're looking for a lower low. Bam, there we go. So if I did an example of RS, if we just took a technical exercise of just marking divergence on RSI and mark those points in the chart, this is a very interesting exercise to do. You can actually just trade off divergence. Here's another example.
Now, going back to the 14th and past the 21st, would you call that a double bottom as well?
The 14th?
Yep. So looking left of your first green line.
Okay, let me go back to 6 hour.
Yeah, so you can see where you marked your the first or the second green
100%.
Yeah, so you would call that a double bottom, and that would be confirmation.
100%.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that's how I see it. I just I also want other people to know. And if you guys have questions over anything or any charts that you want to look at, feel free. Why we have Andiamo, that would be amazing.
So, in terms of, as we look at price action now, yes, we are consolidating and we can see that. But I think one of the biggest clues really is to, fib lines are your greatest tools. So, you can take price action from really anywhere. So what I would do in terms of the latest move, I would kind of take from here. You can take it from there. You can take it from here. So let's just say, for argument's sake, it will always work out. There we go. You can place fibs wherever. For the purists, they'll probably do it here, around about here. Sorry. So, okay, let's do that. That would be the most correct place. From below to the high. So confirmation once again, we are sitting at the 382. What do? Well, we don't know. Once again, we draw trend lines. Very basically, support and resistance. We have a symmetrical triangle once again.
Which I've noticed. I've noticed a lot of these coins are sitting in symmetrical triangles. It seems.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. So the best tool that you can have, the best way to trade this is to be patient, and that is the biggest weapon. Yes, RS high has hooked here, but that means nothing at the end of the day.
Right.
You still got to wait for. I want to wait for bullish divergence.
Yep, I'm with you.
Right. End of lecture.
All good. So what other charts do you kids want to look at? Do you guys have any questions for Andiamo or myself, or any other coins that you want us to look at?
I wanted to specifically look at TRX, which I posted in my trading room today.
Sure. Let's go ahead.
I don't know how the rest of the group feels.
I'm sure they would love to see your analysis on TRX. I know that I would. Oops. Let's see what you got here.
Right. So once again, ideally what I do before I do any analysis, as a rule of thumb, I always look at the monthly. Now, for newbies, the reason why you won't see much here is because there isn't enough data yet for stochastic and all the other indicators to be printed. So that's why there is nothing. So from the monthly, I go, okay, well, we've been bearish for 3 months. That is so now in my mind, what I do is I go, okay, we've been bearish. That's coincides. Then I go to the weekly, forgetting about all the other indicators. All right. So now we can see since the 4th of February we have been bearish. I go, oh, okay. Look at this. We have one green candle printed since Monday. So that is extremely encouraging. So guys, before we go into lower time frames, it is so necessary to look at higher time frames to get a bigger picture view and a top-down view. From an HTF point of view, high time frame point of view, the one thing I'd like to make mention of is that if we have a green candle printed here, or the start of a reversal, that is like gold. It is, a week is 7 days. So a candle is, in terms of a high time frame on the weekly, is something that we really need to take note of. Now, as we can see here, in this previous bear run, yes, we had consolidation here from the 20th of August to the 19th of November. What is to stop us from being in consolidation for another 2 months? Maybe, June, July, August. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This scenario over here can well play out. Do I think so? Not necessarily. I think maybe what might happen is that in terms of accumulation, which we have here, I'm just guessing, and this is purely my opinion, and I'm speculating. I think it would probably be half of this accumulation phase. So as we go down to, say, for example, D3, okay, now we can see, oh, all right, I see what's happening. We're getting a far better viewpoint of what we have. So what we can do is, if we look at, just basically draw a very basic support line. So now we know, okay, well, the all-time lows were here at around about 341. So what do we do from here? So now how do we measure on the D3 how far is price action going to go? So once again, we put our trusty little fib, and we go from, we don't take here, we take this price action here. So now we've got some support and resistance lines. So for me, what I'm doing right now is, yes, I'm super bullish. Price action is going down slightly. All right. So as we look at D3, it's showing a different viewpoint to the weekly. We are still seeing bearish action. So what that means is, where is support going to end up? On the 786. See what I'm saying? So it really doesn't matter. So this is a 3-day candle. So this might take, another few days until the 28th of May or something like that. I don't know. But for myself, what I'm doing is I'm DCAing in, dollar cost averaging in. Why? Because I'm not trying to guess the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm laddering in a little bit at a time, not putting huge position sizes on there. So for myself as a trend trader, I don't care where the bottom is. Let it take care of itself. And in so doing, when it bounces, absolutely, then price action goes up, etc. So if we look at the daily, we get a bigger picture view. Look what we have here. So now we start seeing kind of the beginnings of bullish divergence. Not yet. I'm still not happy with this, but in terms of bigger picture view, what we're looking at is confirmation once again, just to put the mind at ease. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. So that gives me a clue that we're starting to get bullish, a bullish reversal. That green candle will probably translate into accumulation. Why do I say accumulation? Well, look at this area right here. That is accumulating. It's a no man's zone. So in terms of the macro view, the bigger picture view, for myself as a HTF trader, I don't care about all this price action here. This is intraday volatility. I don't care for that. What I do care for is this. This is emptying up your chart. Do you see that? How easy is it to trade that?
Right.
That's what I'm looking for.
Especially with the confirmation on the RSI. That's super nice.
Correct. So yes, I would have got out here. I don't think I would have gone all the way to the top. But look at that gain, 118%. I remember when TRX came in, it was like 1,000% gain, if I remember correctly, in November. Look at that. Yeah, I'm correct. 1,300. Look at that percentage.
Jesus,
gain.
dude. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
that's insane.
This is why, you know, people love to hate TRX. And the thing is, as traders, we should not have bias towards any coin, but just say, come to Papa, thanks so much. This is exactly what we're looking at. Regardless of what the project and the development team are doing, etc., etc. Our job is to catch, as trend traders, the trend. And I remember I was sitting at a restaurant, and I put in a significant amount. It was one of my first trades in crypto, and I literally quadrupled my portfolio, and I went like, holy Moses. I was sitting in the restaurant, and that's what I saw. I was looking at it on the weekly, on the daily. But so let's just put that into perspective. So that's what I was seeing, and that's kind of where I got out. And I went, well, I kind of tripled my portfolio, and I thought, well, this is really, really easy. So, you know, for myself, I understand a lot of, you know, new traders, they're not into high time frames. That's 100%. For myself, this makes much more sense to me. So once I'm in a trend, I forget, once it's in a positive bullish trend, I forget about it for 1 to 3 months. And also what I do is I kind of set my charts on default when I open them up at the weekly. Why? Because I don't want to look at this when I wake up in the morning.
Like me. I love waking up to that.
Oh no, this is what you would do. Yeah.
I'll see you on the 5-minute. Yep. Hey man, you know what? When we scalp some for 30-40%, it's like I call you, but then I call you about the Litecoin call, and I'm like, hey man, I just made 52%, and you're like, I don't care because I made over 100, and I'm like, God dang it. So
just not worth my blood pressure tablets getting more and more.
That's fair. So, that's completely fair.
You know, this is so from a bigger part. Let me just get this.
Oh man.
Okay, so what I absolutely love about TRX, and I'm really passionate about this trade, is look at where stochastic is right now, guys. This is money for jam. Look at that.
Yeah, it's flat.
That to me, look at where RSI is. Okay, now one thing I want to point out is that in high time frames, if we looking at D3, D5, D3 meaning, you know, 3-day and things like that, please bear in mind, and a lot of traders do not understand this, is that stochastic RSI can be up in the overbought region for months, 2 to 3 months. So it is quite okay to actually take a trade on HTFs here. There's nothing stopping us on RSI. Now you're going to look at me and go, "Well, Peter, you or whatever." It's absolutely, are you crazy? What does stochastic RSI signify here? It signifies maximum market strength, and that's what you need to take advantage of in terms of higher time frames. So, as we look at MACD, I don't have the moving averages on here because there's enough going on there. So look at the MACD histogram tick. It doesn't get any better than that.
Would you mind blowing that up full screen so we can see it a little bit easier?
Sure. Do you mean that? Like
Yeah.
that?
Yep. That's way better. Way better.
Yeah. So in terms of, if we look at the MACD, the histogram specifically, look, we have found interim support. Likewise over here, we have found interim support. And I say interim because we could go down slightly, but that to me over here, guys, again, it's one of the biggest clues. Look at that. It doesn't get any better than that. So, in terms of TA, what we've got to do is we've got to really think outside the box. And what I mean by that is that, when we think outside the box, don't just look at the MACD like that. And Honey Badger, you're quite right. Blow up everything. Have a look at the bigger picture view. Look at RSI. Absolutely, 100%. Look at what we have. Oh, okay. We can't see that in the small view, but obviously RSI is at 29. It's hooked. Fantastic. Does it mean it is a bottom? Probably, we'll see. But more than likely, I think so. And, and then obviously we can put our moving averages on. So for myself, I usually use, it really depends. I use many different ones, but for the sake of the group, it would be 20, 50. I use 4 EMAs, 20, 50, 100, and 200. And I think in terms of, getting into crypto, those are probably the default settings. You can use 926, 1020. There are so many that you can use, but to start out with
5 and 10 for the scalper,
10,
for my scalpers out there.
10 and 20 is actually very interesting. 5 and 10. So, for example, I use the 4 EMA. The reason why is because I don't always have to put all of them on. But let's have a look at 1020.
Also, really quick too, if you don't have TradingView Pro, I don't know if everybody does, that also allows for 4 moving averages and 1 indicator. So it definitely keeps your chart clean because you're only allowed like 3 indicators if you don't have TradingView Pro. So also it's a free indicator. It's free to look at.
So, in regards to, I think what Honey Badger and myself are going to try and do, not try and do, but in a very, very simple MA strategy that's worked so well time and time again, is the 10-20 EMA strategy. And Honey Badger, would you just like to go over that?
Yeah.
Want to explain the concept, or would you like me to explain?
Your chart's already up. I can do it if you need me to. I can pull you down and I can do it.
Okay.
Give me just one second.
So basically, very, 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 very simply, we've got the 10 and 20 EMA. So with that, the green is 10, the red is 20. So basically, the strategy is super, super simple. Is that when green crosses red, the 10 crosses the 20, we are bullish. Also, as and when price action significantly, as we can see here, let me just do that. Do you see this candle here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This candle here has significantly closed above the 10 and 20. Now, the rule of thumb for myself is that I wait for this candle to actually physically close. I don't try and trade it um, whilst it is crossing, because anything can happen. Right? We've got a fair sized wick here, a candle body and wick, but I will rather enter here and be 100% safe. So as we carry on, you can see price continuing above the 10 MA. It can bounce and hit the MAs. That's great. So it's very interpretive, and let me just do this. So as you can see, price action is always flirt with the MAs. So what happens is here you kind of you have consolidation and you have the pullback, but price action hasn't significantly broken. So what would be significant for me is that if you find a candle like that, not in this segment, but over here. So if price action significantly broke, then I would get out of the trade. Now notice in Elliott wave theory, as we go up, and I'm not going to draw the lines here but what happens is the further we go up in terms of price action on the Elliott wave theory, we get bigger and bigger pullback. And this is what we call our shakeout. And this is where everybody you get out. But in terms of our strategy, still, we remain. Notice price action, and this is the part where you shouldn't hyperventilate, but wait for this candle body to close. And there, what do you have? Look at that.
And I want to say one thing really quick to go with that. I think that's amazing. Like just where you're at, just with your chart where it does cross a little bit and then crosses right back, you can notice bullish diversions on your MACD as well as the stochastic, and you can kind of see it on your RSI. So, I mean, there is other confluence to go with that outside of just that one, the 10 and 20.
100%. So now the crux of the matter is where on terms of the 10-20. So for myself, what I want to look for is that if a candle significantly breaks below the two moving averages, you see there? That's what I'm looking at. That's where I get out. Now, what you're going to say, well, continuing here. But let's take a step further. Let's put this into a real-time view. Okay? That's what you have. Do you see? Ignore that green candle. But in real time, that's what you have. You have that red candle. We don't know where price action is going. So we follow the rules. Price action has significantly broken the moving averages, and we get out. Do we want to get back into it? No. Why don't we re-enter here? Because the moving averages have not crossed. So let's look at the moving averages, look at price action right now. We're back to the same story. So this applies for any time frame. And the only reason why I'm choosing the 12 hours was because I'm on here. But right now we are in a no trade zone. Why? Because moving averages are crossing and they flattish. Ignore this. Let's do that. Okay? You can trade significantly and make significant gains just on the 10 and 20. So right now, as I look at this is a no trade zone for me. So what I do is I kind of mind map it out, and I go price action can go up and down, and once it starts breaking here, then I'll go on. So what would signify a bullish price action? When green crosses red, you have a significant candle crossing the green candle, and on the open of the next candle, as we had here, this is what I'm looking for. That's the entry point.
And you would have gone to the
So
freaking
people will
moon.
say, well, why didn't you catch it there? I'm not making as much profit. Guys, we are trend traders, and these are the rules. This is what we need to follow. And this keeps us on the right side of the trend. Why wouldn't we get in here? Well, I certainly wouldn't. A lot of people would. But what happens if this trade turns south? Look here. You can have this scenario, and I don't want that.
Or even looking left, going back further left to where you were just at,
Yeah.
you can see where you cross up and then you immediately cross back down and sold off pretty hard.
Correct.
So it's like,
So let's have a look. I mean, in terms of okay, so let's put this back on now. So I'm going to look at this section right now. Okay, this section over here. So yes, this is the time when we have a bouncy price action. I do use stochastic RSI, and MACD to help me out. However, I don't. I'll show you why. Because if we follow the rules, say for example we got in here, all right. I would get out here. Yes, in terms of the rules, why didn't I, we got that big red ass candle here. Okay, obviously it wouldn't have been ideal to, to sell here, but price action could have gone up. We get price action always going the pullback, but in terms of the bigger picture view, what I would have done is I would have probably got out here at this candle. And why? Because look at the stochastic RSI. You see blue has crossed red, and it's signifying we've just left the overbought region. I would get out. Time to say goodbye. So, in terms of the 10-20 MA strategy, I would stochastic RSI and MACD if you want. That's all personal preference. But 10-20 is great. 5-10 MA is great for shorting as well, for scalping. Gives you a lot. Let's just show you. It's the same strategy.
love my 510. Freaking love it.
Yeah. Look at that. Look how tight it is. You see there? Wow. There's just so much there.
But again, it's a little bit tougher. It's not as smooth as that 1020.
Yeah. So, each to their own, but certainly with regards to, so if I was shorting this baby on MEX, here we go. There's my entry point. Do you see how tight that is? The 510 MA. Out here. Thank you very much. So each MA has, each set of MAs have their uses. 926 is another favorite. 928 is also good, but yeah, you kind of get the gist of it. So yeah, there we go. Over to you now in terms of your chart.
Yeah. So what? Let me pull mine up. Hold up. I wonder. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So this is me. We looking at TRX on my chart?
Can I stop screen sharing?
Oh yeah, your screen's not up. Nobody can see you anymore. So you can keep it up. I took it down for now.
Okay.
Was that tether? Is that what we were looking at? The tether pairing? Whoa.
Let me just get out there we go.
So what I saw is a potential, I'm looking at the tether pairing. I was looking at potentially an inverse head and shoulders now. This may not play out, obviously, but it is a pretty well-established pattern. You can definitely see an Adam and Eve type bottom here on, back in November. And then we definitely saw a pop to the upside. And then now we're kind of bouncing along, maintaining this trend line, as well as we have a golden cross on the 4 hour, which, right now we're back testing. So again, like I said, like Andiamo said, that 786 region is going to be a pretty tried and true support for this, and we'll see what happens. We do have a little bit of, I guess, support right here. But again, you could even call that a rising wedge, and maybe we come back and do a double bottom, right? Because this would be the channel, and maybe you're at the low side, and maybe you do run up, but there's nothing guaranteed yet, just because the stochastic is like looking terrible. It looks like it definitely showed some bearish divergence, and now it's trending down. So I think Andiamo is correct with his analysis in saying that I don't think we're quite ready yet, but we are heating up in that regard. Did you cool kids have any questions about, are you using Heikin-Ashi sticks? If so, do you find that it paints better pictures to traditional candlesticks? So in Andiamo and me, I use Heikin-Ashi I think more than he does. I don't dislike like regular candlesticks, but for me, I just learned on Heikin-Ashi candles. I think it helps you identify the trend, but like Andiamo has said before, it's not necessarily the best thing for your entry. So when you're looking for entries, you typically want to use regular candlesticks, but when you want to find the strength or the channel of the trend, then you can use Heikin-Ashi candles. Would you agree with that, Andiamo? Did I lose him? I don't know. But I mean, that's how I try to play it. But typically I use, like right now, what do I have on? I have regular candles, so we can go to Heikin-Ashi. But again, this right here, this little golden cross on this daily right here, again with Ethereum, I like that. I like that a lot, right? And I mean, the volume is tapering off, but I do think a move is coming. I mean, we haven't been over this in a while. I mean, back since, April. Thanks, that paints a better picture. Yeah, man, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's just patience on this one. And that's where Andiamo kicks my ass, is because I am not a very patient trader sometimes. So I look for intraday volatility, and he plays the bigger trends, and I call him and say, hey, I just made 40%. And he says, I don't care, because he'll take it for like TRX for 1,000% or 100% or whatever it may be.
Yeah, could I just say something there?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I'm off the charts. In regards to Heikin-Ashi, Honey Badger, as you said quite correctly, for entry and exit points, I use normal candlesticks, and I think that is an absolute must, because it gives a far accurate viewpoint. Once I'm in and the trend is going, then I switch to Heikin-Ashi, because it's very user friendly, and you can see how the trend is going. And obviously, in terms of exits, then I switch over to normal candlesticks. And then mark my exit points there. I do love Heikin-Ashi very much, and for the purposes of the group and the demonstration, I was just using Heikin-Ashi. But you can see things like shooting stars, dojis, bullish and bearish engulfing candles a lot better. In fact, you do see that on normal candlesticks. And it's very difficult to see, for example, an engulfing candle, bullish, bearish on Heikin-Ashi. That's all I wanted to say.
Oh, you're good. Ooh, BTT. I like that double bottom right there on the 4-hour potential. Tell you what, man. This thing's heating up. This thing is heating up. All right, so did you guys have any other questions, or did you guys want us to take at any other charts while we're still here? We've been live for a little over 2 hours now. But if you guys have charts or anything you want us to look at, or questions you want us to answer while we're here, we'd be more than happy. But if not, probably go ahead and get ready to wrap things up. Yeah, Slim, no worries, brother. That's what we're here for, dude. Or did you have any other charts that you wanted to look at on Andiamo? that you wanted to share with anybody?
No, I'm all good. BTT is fine. I'm
I was looking
bullish on that.
I was looking into Waves too. I think Waves has the potential upside. I think there might be a shot here, especially since we just broke this freaking wedge. At least for me, what I'm seeing, I really think we got a shot.
Well, if we look at it on the 6-hour, just for example, we have divergence on RSI. I would wait for the pullback. Not enough confirmation for me yet. Yes, it is turning bullish. If we specifically look at it on the 6-hour, I would wait for confirmation, wait for the pullback, and then see.
So wait for it to maybe like break out of the wedge and then retest, and then hopefully we would see some.
Yes, because if we look at on the 6-hour, stochastic is overbought. So for me, on smaller time frames, it's a no go. RSI is at 64, so that's too high for an entry right now. So what is currently happening on Waves now is that, I mean, we've got 3 candlesticks. Obviously, you can't see my charts. You're going to have to put on your own. Sorry.
Yep, I got it.
But yeah, so, people are buying in. Say, for example, this is wave 1. Let's just say, for argument's sake, wait for that to finalize, wait for the pullback, and then always wait for the pullback, because there will be one, and then re-enter.
Yeah. I definitely think that, I mean, my targets that I was potentially looking at for Waves, and I mean, you can argue me, and I hope you do. I think I was looking at 44, what was it? 44, like 72-ish, and then 49, somewhere around there, 49.9. Those were kind of where I was targeting, as maybe a little bit optimistic. I mean, obviously the first one would be 38.59.
I would say it's a little bit optimistic.
That's fair. That's fair. I'd like to shoot to the moon, you know. You know
yeah,
me.
Yeah.
You know me.
No, I know you do. I know you do. Yeah.
Permeable.
Let's see what happens on confirmation of the pullback.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, which might happen in 2-3 days' time, especially if we look at it on the 6-hour.
We are going into weekend too, so with the weekend, you never know. It's the Wild West with the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, it might, who knows? It might pump another 3, 4, 5 candles up, and that's all very well. Just don't FOMO in. Wait for the retrace.
Yeah, that's the scalper in me. You know me. I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah. Matic, I caught the pump last night. Seems to be going. I'm very, very wary of it. I will probably exit the trade at market close. I will review that in 3 hours time, 4 hours time, and see what happens.
What a freaking S coin, dude.
Yeah.
Unreal.
That's the beauty about crypto trading is so easy. Just follow market sentiment. If a coin is pumping, that's what it is. Take it. No brainer.
Says, I have seen RSR shilled a lot on Twitter recently. The next Matic, what do you guys think? IEO on HUD. I don't know. Let's take a look at it, dude. I've never even heard of this coin.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. RS?
It's called RSR on Hawaii. I don't even know that exchange. I mean, I know it. I just don't trade on it. Let's see what we got here. Jesus Christ. What in the world? What? Did it just get listed? It must have just got listed.
Yeah, 100% pump. Well, you know my viewpoint about shitcoins, eh?
Yeah, they're not your favorite.
Do you remember when you and I both took BTT right in the beginning?
Oh yeah. Hey, you know, we did take a pump on that though. We did get it. We did get our pump.
We did.
And then we sold the shit off like terrible. I don't know, dude. I mean, I'm not super familiar with the new coins that get listed on this exchange cuz predominantly I'm a Binance trader, but yeah, dude. I mean,
Well,
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
I mean, a coin like RSR, there is no TA involved.
Yeah, there's nothing to
There's
go off of.
This is casino online. Hope for the best.
I mean, you technically on a 15-minute time scale, because I mean, so your coin just got listed, so it's like you have to use lower time frames to kind of make TA relevant. But in the fact that you do have bullish divergence and maybe a potential double bottom on the 15-minute, I
Well,
am
look at that
seeing.
head and shoulders at the moment on the 15-minute.
Yeah, dude. I mean, this shit's. I mean, there's a counter argument for everything. I mean, in the where's your volume? Where's your stupid volume? Like, you got none. You have none right now. Yes, you are closing above the orange line, the 21 for me, which is as a scalper, that's a pretty good thing. But
My viewpoint is if you've got a big account, by all means, and you want to blow it, go for it. If you don't invest in shitcoins. It's just not worth it. You'll blow your account faster than you can save,
yeah,
faster than you can blow.
you ain't wrong. I mean, the cross up. I mean, you are pumping now, which is, I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, with no volume, there's no conviction there, right? I mean,
You know, here's the thing: is that you know, if we look at there's a certain amount of TA that you can do on a 15-minute chart. But here's the thing: the easy part is everybody is you. This is what we call euphoric stage. So let the herd mentality and the masses buy into it and do what they need to do. Let them pump it. But what has to happen? It has to come down and has to make a new low.
yep.
Always. And that's synonymous with any coin on an exchange. And once it reaches a low, there we go. Happy days.
Yeah.
That to me, I mean, look at BTT. That's a classic example of it found the low and now it's happy days.
Right. See, that one actually makes sense to me. Like the BTT makes sense to me. This
Good.
one, I just can't. And maybe it's because I'm not as familiar with the exchange. Like I know when a coin gets listed to Binance, I typically know how to trade it, for the most part. I mean, obviously it is the wild wild west, and you know, look at FET and look at Sealer and all these other shit coins that went parabolic the last couple days. But at least this one makes sense. Like I can call a pattern development on BTT and say we broke out of a falling wedge and now we're looking to test some critical fibs. That makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
But with the other ones, it's just like you're shooting fish out of a barrel. You know what I mean? You just don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in terms of a shitcoin, if we look at BTT, it's uh, I am converted in terms of it's the only shitcoin that I've got part of my high time frame strategy on D3.
Yep.
Super bullish on that. I'm not experienced with these newly listed coins, therefore I stay out. But with this one, I have made an exception. Why? Because you know people buying into the hype and what have you. It's a terrible coin to try and trade.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's hard to get
once
your
it,
order filled too, because it's like, you know, let's say it goes to
yeah,
16. Well, you put your order at 16 or 15. It may never fill. It could take all day to fill.
yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Quite interestingly, I mean, if we, you know, I'm just looking at it on the daily, but on the exchange now, it's 15.38, then it goes up to 23.08%, and then it goes to zero again. It's weird.
It gives you a headache, that's for sure. I mean, but we
Yeah.
already reached the one target, right? I mean, just from, you know, the trading room where we had it. from like
Yes.
10, 11. I mean, we reached the 16, which happened. I mean, we actually got all the way up to 18. And I mean, hopefully we can make that push. The golden cross on the 4-hour makes me feel very bullish, as well as the 21 sitting on top of the 55. I mean, that makes me feel good. And you have more and more volume coming in. So with that, I mean, all those indicators make me kind of lean towards the bullish argument.
And the call that I made on DLT the other day, that I'm really enjoying. It's making some nice returns, over 9-10% at the moment, and it's still climbing. Guys, this is a good coin to be in. Buy and pull back. But in terms of a long-term view, a longer-term view of up to a month, this is a good coin to take.
Just want to go to the weekly and see what you're seeing. I see what you're saying. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. That 3-day, dude. That 3-day is looking interesting.
Now you know why I take these coins.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know what's really funny? I was looking up this coin one time, and the person who invented it had like 200 followers on Twitter, and he was like 20 years old. So the project could go to zero. It could be amazing. I don't know. But regardless, it's tradable. So it's tradable for now.
Yeah. There's another coin, Honey Badger, which you and I spoke about. Another shitcoin that's been newly listed. But this is on Bittrex, guys. It's called TTC. And it's an accumulation phase at the moment. I've heard some good reports about this coin. I don't know how true it is, but might be worth looking into by way of putting a small position size on it.
I do like the daily. The daily's looking pretty decent.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I mean, there, once again, that's been very, very newly listed on the exchange. 15th of March, 14th of March, it came up. It found the low on the 13th of May on the daily, and I think it's not quite ready yet. But regarding a shitcoin like this, what I would probably do is just buy very small position size, let it go through accumulation phase. But one never knows when it leaps into price discovery.
Well, just taking it from a fib, I mean, for me, this thing could take a while, obviously, but I mean, you're seeing almost 100% gains for sure if it plays.
But you see, one of the telltale signs is that things could happen on this. Is that if you look at if we look at the daily, you've got your chart open. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I can't see a huge stochastic RSI is starting to signify the overbought region, signifying maximum market strength. Yes, we can enter, on those conditions. If you're trading, by the way, guys, if you're trading a 4-hour, 6-hour, and lower, and stochastic RSI is in the overbought region, not a good time to take the trade. But on a higher time frame, there are a different set of rules that apply.
I like the bullish divergence on the daily. That looks pretty decent.
Yeah.
That exactly. With the MACD and the signal look pretty okay by me. So that with the Stoke, yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. Interesting.
So guys, if you have a Bittrex account, I would strongly advise, there's some really, really good coins out there on Bittrex as well. For example, Solve BTC. I was just telling Honey Badger, I have tripled my just by trading that. I've tripled my portfolio just from trading Solve. So there are some really, really nice coins with great volatility, newly listed coins that Binance don't always have. So it's a good idea to have, accounts on both exchanges.
Interesting. This bad boy. Sorry, I'm just pulling the chart really quick. Well, your weekly RSI is at like 16. Jesus.
Which coin are you looking at? Sorry, I can't see YouTube.
I'm looking at Solve.
Yeah.
Your daily RSI kind of maybe double topped, but you're breaking above too. So maybe you're just back testing. You're breaking above the 50, and now you're maybe back testing for potential. I mean, you sold off so hard, right?
Yeah.
Which implies a stupid bounce before you ever go to zero. Even if you just took the most conservative to the 236, I mean, shit, dude.
Guys, I took this coin and I only found out about it in about April, I think. I didn't catch the first wave, but certainly I think it was around about the 27th of April. I found out about it and I took the ride, and I still am. I tripled my portfolio on this, guys. So, the encouragement is that you can triple your portfolio.
What the shit, dude?
You
made 700 and some odd percent. You, Jesus.
Yeah. And,
Unreal.
the method is, it's a very, very simple method that I'm going to share with you guys, is that once it's, so we are on a pullback on the 12-hour, and so when it goes back, I put 100% of the portfolio into Solve, and on a pullback, I sell 25%. So in other words, I'm holding 75% of Solve. I keep 25% on BTC. And what happens is that BTC is actually the hedge for Solve as it comes down. So the losses aren't that significant.
It's insane. So,
but you have to know how to trade this. Don't try it at home.
So Victor asked, he said, what coins were your first pump that you rode?
When I first started in crypto?
I would assume so, yeah.
Wow, okay, there were quite a few. Neo was one of them. DGB, Digibyte. Oh man, when I was in Cape Town for the whole month, that I remember it made 618% gain, and it basically paid for my entire holiday, flights, accommodation, while I was in Cape Town teaching crypto. And DGB was a favorite. Neo, Ethereum, those were pretty much it in those days. And then TRX was one of my biggest gainers, where I made over 1,000% gain.
Yeah, that's insane. My story is not the same as Andiamo's or Peter's, just so you guys know. I got my ass wrecked when I joined into crypto. I joined in 2018 in February, and my first buy was Litecoin at $214, and I rode that all the way down to $56. Lost a lot of money. Since then, I have traded it back, but oh my gosh, talk about the pain that goes with that when you hear that, as me and Andiamo were in a previous group together, and then we decided to do our own thing. As leaders of that group, we just kind of decided to go our own direction. He sold at 20K, right? It's like, well, shit, I wish I would have known that. So you live and you learn.
I actually remember it was the 18th of December when it reached 20K, and I was in Cape Town. And Honey Badger knows the story, but I remember exactly. I had my computer with me, and it was lunchtime, and I was overlooking the harbour at the Cape Town V&A waterfront. You guys can Google it if you want. And I remember saying a few profanities, holy this and that, as it reached 20K. And at that time, I think it was on the 6 hourly, I saw the big a red candle form, and I actually sold right at the top. And the reason why I did was because I thought, you know, how can something, an asset class like that, go so parabolic and not dump at some point? And I treated it like any other day. You know, I sold my portfolio right at the top of 20K, and I thought, well, enough is enough. I thought, well, I'm sure that we're going to go down at some point. I didn't know how far we would. But then what I did was I took the portfolio and then I started shorting the hell out of it on May. And then it was happy days from there.
Shit, bought you a
So,
nice ass car.
yeah. Yeah, and I was very
Unreal.
fortunate in that I bought a luxury vehicle through trading, and it's not out of ego or anything like that. It's just what it is. And I think, you know, my philosophy in trading is to be reactive, and not to have predictive bias. So in other words, trade the chance, guys, and follow the losers in the market. And what do I mean by that is follow the herd mentality. Follow what they do. Study what the losers do. So when the guys are panicking and they're buying in, that's the time that you sell. So buy the fear and sell the greed.
Yup. And we'll dive into all this, obviously, you know, in the Discord and, you know, further with the YouTube channel. But it is so funny to hear how our stories are so different and how our paths cross, because I'm such a small, short-term time frame trader, and Andiamo was such a high time frame trader, and it's just amazing how that all played out. So
yeah, man. I remember I started hyperventilating when you said to me, "Have a look at a 3-minute chart and a 1-minute chart."
yeah. It's hey, you know, sometimes it works. Sometimes you're just like, holy shit, I just made with like CELER the other day. I mean, hyperventilating in a good way, right? But sometimes, man, it didn't start that way, right?
Yeah.
We're here now.
Guys, I think in closing, the biggest thing to be a successful trader is that you've got to stay humble, you've got to be patient, you've got to have discernment, and you've got to have a bullshit meter.
That ain't no lie. The bullshit meter.
Hold your bullshit meter up in the marketplace and you'll be okay.
That might be one of your best indicators. No, that's cool. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we are going to go ahead and wrap this up. I do appreciate you guys hanging out on the stream. My first crypto buy was like $25 worth of BTC at 700. Never sold, still holding, didn't know how to sell. Well, there you go. I mean, heck, that's pretty good then. That's funny.
Cool. I'm going to hop off. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, and all those in between that are watching. Thanks for watching, and catch you on the next one.
My man. All right. Talk to you later.
Take care.
All right, guys. I think that's about to do it. DGB sold me. Yeah, I wish I would have known about this stuff way back when, right? But that's why we're here now, and that's why we're gonna continue to learn. And you guys keep showing up. We'll make it happen. So until next time, I will see you guys in the Discord, and you guys take care.